Hi, and welcome to ASHA Global Voices podcast, where we share powerful stories from around the world on diverse cultures, leadership, and the human experiences that bring us all closer together. I'm Trella, host and creator of this podcast. As a cross-cultural leadership coach, I empower global leaders to transform cultural diversity into their greatest competitive advantage. I hope you enjoy each episode and join me on this journey to uncover unique perspectives and the universal lessons that unite us. If you are inspired by what you hear, please consider subscribing and supporting the ASHA Global Voices podcast. Your support means the world. Now, let's dive in. And remember, our differences are what enrich us and make us human.
Hi everyone. Today's guest is Pauline Harb, joining us from the vibrant city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. From growing up in Abu Dhabi to studying in Beirut, beginning her career in Dubai, embarking on an MBA adventure in France and Singapore, living chapters in Switzerland and Slovenia, and finally making a full circle return to Dubai, her journey has been one of growth and discovery. Pauline's career has spanned consulting, product management, and strategy roles across multinationals, regional firms, family businesses, and startups. And after all these experiences, she intentionally ended up where her heart truly lies, in a tech startup. Through all of this, she remains on a never-ending journey to live a meaningful, authentic, and impactful life, driven by commitment to serve others and make a difference. Pauline, hi. It's so great to have you today.
Hi, I didn't know you were going to read that, by the way. I thought I was going to go somewhere in a summary, but I was like, okay.
Summary as well, but you have to be introduced properly at the beginning.
No, thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Before we dive into today's podcast, I have a challenge for you, which are 3 quick fire questions about Dubai. So I will tell you a statement and ask you true or false, and you just quickly have to respond is it true or false. And later on, of course, we would love to hear your explanation. Are you ready?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. So, in Dubai, you can't wear casual, revealing clothes in public. True or false?
False. So, would you like me to explain? Or at the very end?
Let's go through all of them and then you will explain.
Sure.
You don't have to pay income tax in Dubai. True or false?
True.
Women have no rights in Dubai. True or false?
False. False.
Tell me about that. Why is it false? Do women have rights in Dubai?
No, it's amazing being a female in Dubai, to be very, very honest.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's first of all, it's super safe living here, which I can say I feel safer here than in many European or even other countries. You can walk at 3 a.m. and not have to worry. But not just that, even in the business world, so many companies really want to have more women in the workplace. And even from a governmental perspective, you have a lot of female CEOs, ministers. So that's great here.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Would you say the same in let's say in Lebanon, because you also studied in Beirut? How is it being a woman there? The same as in Dubai,
Also,
or are there any differences? In your opinion?
It's similar. I guess in my opinion, also Lebanon is very liberal. I mean, you do have women in the government. Of course, it's a small percentage. Would love to see more. I think in general, globally, we have I think, not the same representation percentage-wise, women and men in leadership roles, like in the government. But it's improving, I think, everywhere, and also in Lebanon and the UAE too.
Okay, so if we stay with women's rights in Dubai, so women have same rights as men.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second one was that you don't have to pay income tax in Dubai. And you said that this is true.
I feel by the end of this podcast, you're going to move to Dubai.
Yeah. Maybe,
It's a
who
great place
knows?
for
I don't know.
women. You don't get taxed. I mean, why? Why not move here? It's warm all year round. I mean, one of the main reasons I moved back, the weather is amazing. But yeah, there's corporate tax, there's VAT, but not income tax. And salaries here, I mean, it's a fact, are way higher than most places around the world.
Right.
That's great, and the great standard of living.
Okay, great. It depends on the first, true or false. If I will like it, maybe I will join you in Dubai.
You will be pleasantly surprised.
So the first one was that in Dubai you can't wear casual or revealing clothes in public.
Yeah,
You
you
said
know,
that this is false.
that's really that's definitely false. It's very westernized, very open, very liberal. Dubai. I think I was telling you previously that so in the country the population's 10 million, and there's 1 million are Emiratis. So the locals here, you've got 9 million expats, so foreigners. So the culture is really such a mix. It's a melting pot of all cultures and whoever you hang out with. And they even have a minister of tolerance, just so you know. So there, and not many countries have that. So they want people of diverse backgrounds, religions to feel so comfortable and welcome at home, respected here. So you can go to the beach if you want. You can dress however you dress back home in Dubai. It's yeah, it's great.
Okay, and you also mentioned that 1 million are Emiratis. And now I would like to ask you about, so it's United Arab Emirates
Sure.
or UAE shortly,
Yes.
or simply you
Yes.
say it Emirates. Uh, so this is a country which is composed of 7 emirates. And Dubai is one of these 7 emirates. Can you just explain us what is an emirate?
Sure, it's like how some countries have states or cantons or provinces. Over here, we just call them emirates that join
Okay.
together to become one country.
Okay. And the official language in Dubai is Arabic, even though everybody, because 9 million of expats speak English, and you say hello and greet each other with a handshake. But
Yes.
can you teach us how to greet in Arabic language?
Okay. So funny thing is, I mean, there's like the official Arabic, but then different dialects, and there's so many different Arab countries. So over here, a lot of Arabs could say "Assalamu alaikum," for example. That is one way. You can say "Marhaba." I think a lot of people know that. And if you're Lebanese or when you're in Lebanon, you can say "Bonjour," the French way. That's how we say hi.
Why do you say bonjour in
I mean, most Lebanese we go to French or English schools. Arabic is our first language, but most people speak 3 languages, and French is became a big part of our culture, I guess, and language. So a very common, like in Lebanese, we say, when you meet someone, we say hi, kifak, ça va. This is really how we say hello in Lebanese. So it's hi, kifak is how are you, ça va in French, which is all good. So yeah.
Interesting. And tell me, is this true that Dubai's weekend starts on Friday and with many businesses closing for Friday prayers,
So the official weekend is Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday? But this is just recently, if I'm not mistaken.
A few years ago.
Okay, so it's the same as in Europe. You work from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
But before that, it was a bit different, right? Or
It was Friday, Saturday previously.
Friday, Saturday, okay. Makes more sense, probably, for international work
Yeah.
to have it the same. Okay, and tell me,
Yeah.
Pauline, why did you at the end decided to live in Dubai?
I can't think of a reason not to. I mean, why not? honestly. So, I mean, so I did grow up here, but I left for a long while. So I was in Europe for several years. Um, but it's really several factors. One of them is I couldn't do another European winter, honestly. Like I missed seeing my
Tell me about
toes.
it.
Yeah, like the boots, the sweaters. I love warm weather. I love the sun. As do many people, I think. But yeah, the sun, the beaches are stunning here, honestly. And if I can have that most of the year, great. Another thing is also like I said previously, no taxes, salaries are great. But more than anything, I'm really, I think, stimulated on a like personal and professional front. So professionally, you have so many multinationals here. You've got startups. You've got all kinds of companies here. So many opportunities, so many conferences, exhibitions. You meet so many interesting people professionally to have these stimulating conversations with. How can we improve? How can we grow? But also personally, like you meet people from all over the world, right? They're like every nationality you can think of, someone lives here. Like so 200 nationalities. It's it's so fun. It's so interesting. Like no days like the next if you do go out there, and put yourself out there. So yeah, that's in short.
Great to hear. Is it, what would you say, is it easy or difficult to make friends or business connections in Dubai?
I mean, depends versus where, but I would say in general, because most of us are expats, no one is coming with their high school, college friends. Everyone's kind of new here, newish, and so you're always meeting new people, actually. And to, yeah, it's kind of easy to meet people. People are very open. You can meet people at a bar, you can people like at the conference, and they're just open to meeting you, getting to know you. So it's easy that way. But of course, like in any other place, to form like a meaningful connection, have a close support system, that takes time, of course.
Absolutely. And it makes sense if the majority of you are expats kind of coming there alone or with family. I think in general, when we go somewhere else on our own, we are more open probably. This I
Yeah,
am when I travel also, more open to meeting new people.
exactly.
Okay. And tell me, what role does religion play in Dubai?
Whatever role you'd like it to play. I mean, it's everyone follows, I think, their own religion. Like I said, very tolerant place here. So you've got mosques, of course, you've got churches, temples, synagogues, and then you do your thing. So,
Mm.
and yes, I mean, I think people are expecting to hear there's Ramadan and it affects your life, but those that want to fast, they do so. And if you don't, life is, yeah, as usual.
And tell me, are there any taboos in Dubai? Is there anything that would be seen as inappropriate to discuss, in your opinion?
I can't honestly think of anything I wanted to discuss and I couldn't, to be very honest. One thing, it's not on the taboo what to say. Something that you won't see here is protests, people demonstrating on the streets.
You won't see that.
You won't see that over here. Yeah.
Why would you say that it's so, that is so?
I'm I think to be able to do so, you need to kind of get permission. It's not so open in that sense that you go demonstrate politically. Uh, yeah, it's preferred you don't, and I think people just respect that and don't do that. I'm not saying. I think once we did protest, but I think we had told them ahead of time, and we got security. It was, I mean, organized. It was great, but it's not something common. It's not something people just feel like it and go down on the streets and do.
Okay, do you maybe remember what was this protest about?
Do you want to go into politics?
No,
Oh
no,
yeah, exactly. So
really not.
it's always politics, right? Wars somewhere, people are supporting or one side or for a cause, and going to just and say out loud why, yeah, why that's wrong.
Hmm. Okay. And tell me, what would you say is the biggest difference you notice between living and working in, let's say, Dubai and in Europe?
I mean, of course, again, it depends where in Europe. It also depends what kind of company. But in
For sure.
general, on average, I'd say over here it's really fast paced. But then again, life here is fast paced. Europe in general is a bit slower, sometimes a bit too slow for me. I'm just like, come on, come on, come on. Like, and hours for some could be longer. Again, if you work for the government, it's shorter. If you work for startups, you could work longer hours, but you know what you're signing up for. But it's a lot of work, but you also get the play on the weekend or after work. So I mean, you don't have any other worry. That's what's great. You do give it a lot. Work does take a lot from you, but when you're done, you really get so many options to enjoy.
So can you still give us a kind of better understanding of working hours? What's the, like, let's say, somebody living in Dubai in general, if you can say how many hours per week would this person do?
I mean, normally you'd say 40, but then it's plus or minus, but also on the sector. So one thing that's a plus for Dubai, but maybe not a huge plus for some sectors is, so unlike Europe, everything's open all days of the week. You've got the malls open like on weekends till like 11 p.m. I never have to worry that I need something, but they're shut. So you've got this amazing life of convenience. But that means for people working in, let's say, the tourism, hospitality sector or service sector, they do long hours. I mean, of course, there are shifts, but then, they'd have to work late. Whereas it's not very common in Europe that a mall or stores are open till 11 p.m. or midnight.
Mm, true. So at the end, you are in a startup where your heart lies, as you say it. What do you enjoy so much about startups, or particularly about the company that you are in now?
I mean, so I work at Trella. It's a digital trucking platform. What I love about it, honestly, so there are two reasons why I joined. So, like you said, I love startups. They're so exciting. I love the unpredictability of it. Like, I don't know what I'll be working on the next day or next week or what's going to happen. There's that risk factor, but also I get to make an impact. You're setting things up. You're running with things. I come up with ideas and I go with it, not so much bureaucracy or hierarchy. But this company is also very, very special because of the people. So, I mean, after several experiences, so I'm 40 and I've really worked in so many different industries, companies, countries. I realized what's my number one, like most important reason if I were to work for a company is the culture. And Chella's culture is amazing. And by culture is amazing, it means like their values align with mine. And people are very kind, very open, very collaborative, fun, because that's really important at work. You're there for so many hours of your life. You want to enjoy it. You want to enjoy working with these people. And I always said, like, for me, like, if I want to join work, I want to fall in love, like a relationship, like with a friendship. You have to be very intentional. You don't want to give your energy to just anyone. So I did. Like, I fell in love with them in the interview process, and I'm like, yes, love you guys. Want to work with you. Let's do this.
That's so wonderful to hear, really. And but tell me, if you have the insight in general, like in companies in Dubai, what kind of culture is there? I know in general startup culture is usually more open and more, empowering and collaborative and fast-paced. But can you give us maybe an insight in general, about the culture in Dubai's company?
But this is what's amazing. There is no one culture. Really. it is really what you make of it. You have everything, not just work-wise, how you want to live your life. People think in Dubai, it's all about fancy lifestyle, fancy restaurants. I live the very opposite life. You've got people who go camping every weekend and hiking. They sleep by the beach on a boat. It's amazing. You can do that. And work-wise, you have so many startups. You've got family businesses. You've got like so many people in consulting, which is super like hectic, crazy hours, but very fulfilling for some. And you've got governmental companies. Maybe hours not as crazy. You just, you're more maybe right in a modest way. But yeah, I mean, you kind of know through the interview, for people interviewing you, what the culture is like, and you choose if it's for you or not. And there's something for everyone.
Okay. Now I will ask you a next question. I'm sensing you will say it depends because it's so diverse. But
When
let's
you come
say,
here, you'll see. But yeah.
but let's say that someone or maybe a company in Europe is starting some collaboration work with a company in Dubai. Would you have some advice for them? How to make, let's say, a good impression?
I mean, I'm just thinking, because I'll probably ask them, which sector are you in, to see, right, if it's attractive or not. But at least for
Let's
those
see
that
IT, yeah.
want to, what is it? But for those that want to expand in the Middle East, most do it in starting in Dubai, in the UAE. Actually, they start here, easy to set up. Again, the culture is so westernized. They're so just comfortable. Over here, they do want to make it attractive for people to move here, work here. You've got places where you don't pay taxes, right? And then from here, they expand into Saudi, which is the largest market, and then into other markets.
But tell me, Pauline, I would also love to hear about your leadership style. You are a head at your company, and tell me, how do you lead your team? What's your style?
Mine is a servant leadership approach. This is what comes to me naturally, what I look up to when people have that approach. I mean, one thing, after having so many different experiences, I realized I think it's enough of leadership styles that are very like autocratic, where, hey, I'm your boss, this is what you do, go ahead and do it. I think businesses should move to a more culture like where people are kind. I think less of the hierarchy. And I've always believed that your people, so my people and the company, are our first line of customers. If you really want to grow, focus on your own people, because if they're fulfilled, if they're happy, if they're growing, if they're satisfied, they will go the extra mile for you and your company will grow. This is it. So for me, with my team, it's like, there are two things. Yes, we need to deliver. We have key goals, metrics, timelines, deadlines, and we need to meet them, and we need to deliver quality-wise. So there's no compromise. But at the same time, every person I meet or joins my team, I ask them, what's your dream? Like, that's what's so important. Like, who are you? Where are you working towards, so that I can help you get there? And this is it. It's always a mix of, you build a relationship with them, right? It's not a transaction. It shouldn't be like that. So you build a relationship, you build this trust, you get to know them. You get to know about their personal life too, let them feel it's a safe space. It should be a safe space. And then help them develop personally and professionally. While at the same time, we always keep our eye on like our North Star within the company. What are you working towards? What do we need to achieve?
So important, Pauline. Servant leadership. I love it. Yeah. And tell me, what's one challenge that you are facing leading a team?
I don't know if it's a challenge as much as it's a responsibility. Like, I feel a great responsibility to my team members, Am I really helping them develop? Am I doing enough? Are we on the right track? How do you keep this balance between, you're in a startup, a lot comes in, there's a lot of stress sometimes, a lot of last minute requests, to help them keep this work-life balance. It's balancing both or delivering on both consistently is the challenge.
And is that what, listening to you, what is your way of leadership? Would you say then that you are empowering your team, trusting them?
I don't see any other way of how it should be, right? We're all equals. This is how I see it. We're lucky to be there's a reason I'm on their path, they're on my path. I really believe that. So it's my responsibility to help them develop, grow, but definitely through empowerment. I need to give them the skill sets, but trust them to deliver how they'd like to deliver it. And then I give them feedback. But we need to be true to ourselves, authentic. And I need to help them figure out who they are. How do they want to work? How do they want to lead? Find their approach, not my approach. That always works. So empowering them in that sense.
And what do you think about micromanaging? Do you micromanage your team?
I hope not. I hope if you ask them, they'll say I don't. I don't think it's helpful. I don't think any person that you ask will say we love it. Don't think it's helpful. I don't know if some people feel like their team members are underperforming. They need to work more closely with them. I think that's okay, but not in a micromanaging way. Like, what are you doing today? Report on that. Not in that sense, but like, work closely and how can I support you today? What are we doing today? Do you need help with that? Any bottlenecks? That's more productive.
But
yeah,
I agree with you. But what would you say? What would be your advice to someone being a leader and has maybe challenges trusting their team members? As you mentioned, you wanna, empower them, encourage them to find their own ways as well, to be themselves. But of course, on the other hand, to deliver, deadlines are there. But still, what would you advise a leader that, finds challenges here, feels like he or she has to be in control all of the time?
right. Tell them to look within, right? There's something within that we need to figure out, or he or she needs to figure out. Do they have trust issues? Is it that someone doesn't trust them, and so they've picked that up? Because it's all within. Like, how you treat others is a projection of yourself, right? So I say start with themselves, do self-reflection, go within and find out why. Why are you doing this? And then, does this situation really need such and such a, let's say, an approach in leadership style?
So what I'm hearing is being as conscious as possible as a leader and looking within before you can really
go to therapy, basically.
Yeah,
I think I feel like, honestly, like I can have a session just on wellness, on self-development, on therapy, because I mean, again, it's a responsibility, right? You're managing people. They can have a good day or bad day because of you. If you can't control your emotions, if you don't know how to lead, if you're scrambling, they can sense. We're humans. We sense that when someone's having a bad day. So it's that manager's responsibility to be so aware, so in tune with themselves, to be consistently working on themselves. They need to always be improving. We all have issues. They need to be aware of it. That's the first thing. And then work on it so it doesn't spill over to their...
Absolutely, Pauline. And mentioning psychotherapy, which is great to get to know yourself better and to also, find ways how to manage your emotions. As you said, for leaders, this is even more important because you are affecting so many people around you and you are kind of responsible for them as well. Yeah,
Exactly.
great. But unfortunately, not all leaders are that way yet. And as well, it's kind of not required, wellness,
Yeah,
relationships, communication, how to manage ourselves, our emotions, how to express our emotions. This is not something that, we are learned, that we
sure.
learn
But
in, that we should learn in school. And
sure, but to those employees that end up in such a situation, they don't have to put up with it. Like, I think if they also put up with it, you're allowing them, you're enabling them to be, I don't know, to bully you or to be rude or to micromanage you. Like, I think, like, people should, first of all, maybe speak up before just exiting, right? Telling them, like, voicing that this is not okay or it doesn't work with me. Because different leadership styles or management styles work for some, don't work for others. So, I mean, it's not always the toxic leaders, right? Some managers, no, they mean well. They're at peace with themselves, but their style doesn't work with some. So first thing, like, that employee should voice it. Like, communication is so, like, really, I mean, understated. Uh, and I've done this so many times. I mean, I'm someone who can't keep anything in, to so many managers. I'm like, but in a very respectful and kind way. Like, I think, look, this is the type of person I am. This is how I work best. This is what I need from you. 1, 2, 3, very clearly. And I feel if it's still not working and if the culture is not working for that person, then it's time to, I mean, ask the question, like, is this where I should be? Is this place even, like, serving me, And if no, that person, I think, should look for something else, or if they want to be a Pauline, just quit and take some time off. I've done that so many times. Just take time off till I figure out what's next.
and at the end, move to Dubai because there are so many opportunities there and the weather is good.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, if you're career oriented, Dubai is the place to be. If you want the career, the sun, good standard of living, Dubai really, really provides that. And for those that complain summer is horrific, I mean, sure, it's super hot 2, 3 months of the year, but that's when you actually leave for summer and you travel and you can go to Europe and have the mountains. So you have the best of both worlds, the beach during the year and mountains in summer.
Yeah, really, it sounds good.
It is.
Um, but also, I was joking a little bit with if somebody wants to quit, move to Dubai because there are so many opportunities, but still, it sounds tempting. But tell me, just circling back a little bit to communication in companies. You were saying how important it is to express ourselves, that an employee, a leader, everyone is communicating with each other. It's also important to have this kind of culture within the company where you can feel safe, as you mentioned, that you try to create within your team a safe environment where they can express themselves as well, where they can be authentic. It's so important, right?
It is. I mean, so because I realized that culture is so important on my mental health, my well-being overall, when I go to interviews, and I tell people this, an interview is not just for them to interview you. It's for you to interview them. For me, it's two ways. I have my notebook ready and I have my questions. And towards the end, I'm like, you're giving me my time. Like, you asked me all the questions you wanted. I need to ask you some questions. And sometimes I ask for additional calls to check, is this somewhere where I want to work? And there's one thing I do, for example, when I meet or interview with several people, right? A lot of times interviews, you interview with 4 or 5 people. I ask them the same question. I ask them, how would you describe your culture? So I ask every single person the same question and I see what their answers are. And I see if they're consistent. Um, and then this is where also I get the full picture. Not everyone will touch on everything. So that's at least my strategy. One of them when I interview with people to get to know what it's like working there.
It's a great strategy. And at the end, you were able to find a great company with a great culture that you really enjoy, which is great.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, within the first, I think, 30 minutes, I hit it off with my manager, and I also asked him like, what are the company values? Also, like, tell me more. And towards the end, I'm like, listen, I've loved everything you've said, and like, I think also I was very clear that I'm definitely interested to continue with the process
Why would you say values are so important to you?
because they're what defines the culture. And so when I'm looking to apply and I check out their website, sure, I check so many things. I try to learn about the company, how's it doing financially, the industry they're in, their competitors. But I also look for what's their culture. It says so much about what I can expect. Because honestly, like sometimes I tell people, like when I join, I mean, I'm like, you can be selling spaghetti for all I care, to be honest. I'm not joining there's so many number one leading companies or number one in this, number one in that. There's so many great companies, like numerically. So it's not about that anymore. I want to work in the right culture, but for the right team. I'm like, this is a team I want to help them win. And yeah, and enjoy my day to day.
100% agree with you. I think values are extremely important, and each company should really pay attention to values. Um, yeah, because as you said, we don't
Yeah.
work just for money. We want to also, enjoy ourselves and be in alignment with company and its values and culture, because we spend so much time working. Yeah.
Exactly. And you'll feel good afterwards if you're in a healthy, good environment with great colleagues, right? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, and where you're feeling you're making a difference, you're making an impact. Your work is being appreciated. I feel that's what most people really just want, to do a place that lets them be who they really are. I think that's also very, very important. Like I'm super quirky and I can be weird. And this company, I can really be myself. And not only do they like not find me weird, but they appreciate me even more. And this is the kind of environment everyone should be in, make you feel at home, comfortable to be yourself, be genuine, authentic. And this is where you will rise up to your full potential. This will allow you to. So it makes a big difference, I feel.
And it makes total sense. And hopefully, we are moving globally towards being more authentic in general. Sometimes people are not authentic in personal relationships, and then even more afraid being authentic in corporate environment. So yeah, I feel like it's really important if you can have a leader which gives you an example of authenticity, honesty, transparency, and support as well. It can help you grow as well.
Yeah, personally and professionally, not just professionally. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tell me, Pauline, if you could imagine a better future for people globally, because we know we are living in kind of crazy times at the moment, what would that future look like? Whatever comes to mind.
I mean, for me, I think it's what I touched on at the beginning, and I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, in the workplace, I would love for us to be able to do business, but in a kind way. Let's just all be kind. It doesn't have to be so cutthroat. I'd love to see more women move up in the workplace. I think take roles of leadership. And yeah, have the whole like environment team to support them. I feel we've really improved in that sense, but there's still so much to be done. But hopefully, yeah, we see it soon.
Beautiful. And I have to ask you, why would you like to see more women rising up to leadership positions? What would change with that as well?
So much comes with diversity. Honestly, it's such a different viewpoint. And women and men, sure. I mean, yes, I don't say we're equal. Everyone's intelligent, all of that. It's not an intelligence thing, but approaches, styles. Women bring something else to the workplace. I mean, I don't want to say the typical emotional intelligence and empathy, maybe I don't have the numbers to back it up, but there are some skill sets I feel women have or nail more than men. And in general, I feel just more diversity. It's not just genders, but nationalities, experiences, backgrounds. It makes it even more enriching. You bring something new to the table.
For sure. What a beautiful thought to end with, Pauline. Thank you so much for this conversation. It was an absolute pleasure seeing you again and hearing all your insights. Thank you.
No, thank you, Tiasha. So lovely to see you again. I miss you, but yeah, we'll
I
definitely,
miss
I
you
think, catch up
too.
also after that.